Most men trying to use muscle building peptides are sabotaging their own hormones, and they don't even realize it. They think more IGF-1 means more muscle. They think MK77 is a legal AGH. They think Sermorelin is weak. That mindset is exactly why they stall. And worse, it's why some guy gain weight and call it muscle. Some guy look puffier instead of sharper. And why some guys spike IGF-1 and still don't grow. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why. I'm Jay Patel. I'm a certified PA specializing in hormones and peptides. By the end of this video, you'll understand which compound increases growth hormone indirectly, which one can quickly increase insulin resistance, which one most men should not start with, and the single variable that determines whether you build lean tissue or just inflate. If you care about muscle performance, longevity, not just scale weight, stay with me. Comment below which peptide you have tried. Let's go. Muscle growth is not about one hormone. It's about orchestration. Testosterone drives androgen signaling. Growth hormone drives recovery and lipolysis. IGF-1 drives satellite cell activation and protein synthesis. Insulin drives nutrient partitioning. Sleep drives pulsatility. Missed one piece, the system weakens. Most men focuses on one lever. That's mistake number one. Over-focusing on one pathway. Now, let's break these compounds down correctly. First, MK677. MK677 is not just a peptide. It's a ghrelin receptor agonist. It stimulates the GHSR receptor that increases endogenous growth hormone release, which increases IGF-1. It also increases appetite. So if you're trying to lose weight, need to be extra careful here. MK677 can also increase water retention. Here is what most guys don't understand. MK677 does not directly build muscle. It increases the environment for the growth. But that environment includes increased hunger. Increased hunger can be good in a bulk phase, but uncontrolled hunger leads to excessive calorie intake. And here is the key. If insulin sensitivity is low, extra calorie doesn't go to muscle, they go to fat. This is where guys get confused. They gain 8 to 10 pounds, but their waist increases too. That's not pure hypertrophy, that's poor nutrient partitioning. If you ever bulk and gain more fat than expected, comment dirty bird. Be honest. Now let's go deeper. Growth hormone increases lipolysis, but it also transiently reduces insulin sensitivity. That's a normal physiology. The body balances through pulsatility. MK677 increases GH chronically. Chronic elevation without pulsatile rhythm can create metabolic strain in some individuals, especially if diet is poor, especially if sleep is poor, especially if stress is high. That's loop one, expanding. We'll close it later. Now, let's talk about Sermorelin. Sermorelin stimulates GHRH receptors. It promotes natural pulsatile growth hormone release, mostly during deep sleep. It respects the endocrine axis. It works slower, but more physiologic. Better long-term metabolic compatibility. Less aggressive than MK677. This is why some men diminish it, because it doesn't create a dramatic feeling. But muscle growth isn't about feeling something. It's about signal quality. Sermorelin improves recovery, improves sleep depth, improves GH amplitude over time. That enhances protein synthesis indirectly and preserves lean muscle mass while reducing fat. But here is the issue. Most men using Sermorelin don't train hard enough. They expect peptide to replace progressive overload. That's mistake number two. Expecting hormone optimization to replace mechanical tension. Muscle grows from tension. Hormones amplify adaptation. They don't create it. If you're not progressively overloading, you are not maximizing peptide's benefit. Common training if you've honestly plateaued in the gym. Now let's talk about IGF-1 LR3. This is direct, potent, aggressive. IGF-1 binds to IGF-1 receptors on a muscle cell, activates PI3K pathway, stimulates mTOR signaling, increases protein synthesis, activates satellite cell. This is direct anabolic drive. But here is the part most men don't understand. Exogenous IGF-1 bypasses the natural regulatory rhythm. Your liver normally produces IGF-1 in response to GH pulses. That's controlled. LR3 is extended acting, stronger, less regulated. If used aggressively, it can suppress endogenous GH output. And excessive IGF-1 exposure without proper recovery increases cellular stress. This is not beginner's territory. This is advanced endocrine manipulation. And this is the peptide most men should not start with. We'll close the loop properly soon. So let's escalate. Muscle growth requires adequate testosterone, adequate GH pulses, controlled insulin, low chronic inflammation, sufficient sleep for recovery, sufficient protein, and overall better nutrient. Now let's talk insulin, because this is a silent factor. Insulin is anabolic. It drives nutrient into muscle, but only if insulin sensitivity is good. If insulin resistance is present, nutrients spill into adipose tissue. If fasting insulin is elevated, you're already partitioning poorly. Adding MK677 on top of poor insulin sensitivity, you amplify fat gain, no muscle. Common insulin check. If you have had your measured. If you haven't, that's your first blind spot. Now let's close the loop fully. Why do some men gain fat on MK677? Because appetite rises, calories increases, insulin rises, insulin sensitivity worsens, partitioning shifts. That's physiology, not failure. Loop closed. Now let's talk sleep. Deep sleep drives GH pulses. GH pulses drives liver IGF production. IGF drives muscle repair. No deep sleep, blunted pulses. Blunted pulses reduce adaptation. You can take peptides all you want, but if sleep is fragmented, you will stall. Comment how many hours you actually sleep. Be honest. Now mistake number 3, stocking everything at once. MK plus IGF plus Sermorelin. More is not always better here. More is chaotic. Endocrine system prefers rhythm, not chaos. Start with bottleneck. If sleep is broken, fix sleep first. If insulin is high, fix insulin first. If testosterone is low, address that first. Then layer intelligently. Let's talk about inflammation. Chronic systemic inflammation impairs mTOR signaling, impairs recovery, impairs insulin sensitivity. No peptide overrides chronic inflammation. If diet is poor, if alcohol intake is high, if stress is constant, growth will stall. Peptide amplifies the environment. They don't override it. Pattern interrupt. If you are drinking heavily every weekend and trying to optimize muscle growth, you are contraindicating yourself. Fix that first. Now let's close the second loop. Which compound most men should not start with? IGF-1 LR3. Because it bypasses regulation. If your system isn't stable, you don't need direct anabolic force. You need rhythm. You need GH quality. You need sleep. IGF-1 is advanced, not foundational. Now the final loop. What's the single variable that determines whether you build lean tissue or inflate? Is insulin sensitivity. Muscle growth requires nutrient partitioning. If glucose control is poor, fat gain accelerates. If glucose control is good, muscle gain are clear. Peptides amplify partitioning quality. They don't create it. That's loop closed. So here is the action plan. Step 1, test fasting insulin. Step 2, fix your sleep for recovery. Step 3, train progressively. Weightlifting, strength training. Step 4, eat adequate protein to support that muscle. Step 5, choose the right compound for your stage. Don't start everything at once. Beginner, focus on natural GH rhythm. Intermediate, consider appetite and recovery support. Advanced and metabolic, optimize, direct IGF. Strategically, sequence matter, not hype. Final truth, muscle growth isn't about the strongest compound. It's about clean signaling. Testosterone sets the tone. Growth hormone orchestrates the recovery. IGF drives cellular growth. Insulin directs nutrients. Sleep synchronizes everything. You miss one, you stall. Align all, you grow. If this helped you understand muscle building peptide at deeper level, hit the subscribe. If you have used MK677, IGF-1 or Sermorelin, drop your experience below. In the next video, I'm breaking down how to combine testosterone with GH peptide for maximizing lean muscle mass without increasing fat gain or metabolic risk. The one will change how you stack. Stay sharp.